Welcome back to another weather forecast here. In this video, we're going to be tracking the significant tornado outbreak that will occur tomorrow, bringing dangerously large hail, extremely dangerous and long track tornadoes, and as well very strong and dangerous and damaging winds that will become big threats across Dixie Valley, as we do have a moderate risk issue, and the SPC as well is considering even bringing in a high risk. So we have a lot of talk about compared to my last video. Will I be streaming on this event? It all depends on whether my game will get canceled. If it does not get canceled, sadly I won't be able to stream this event. If it does get canceled, then I can be able to stream the event. So really, you guys, I actually won't find out whether my game will get canceled until really tomorrow early afternoon. So I do apologize if I cannot stream. Of course, you guys know I would try my best to. But if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, as well as the like button and bell icon, so you guys can get notified as soon as I post. But without further ado, let's jump into the forecast. So this is what the National Weather Service, sorry, not the National Weather Service. This is what the the SPC has out for us. Obviously, really you're gonna be watching out the extremely large moderate risk that has been issued by the SPC earlier today, which obviously the Storm Prediction Center, I don't know why I said National Weather Service, it's the Storm Prediction Center. So there you see the very large moderate risk here that has been issued here, and it actually has extended a lot more towards the north and as well the east since this morning. So now Georgia has been issued in it, and now even close to the Kentucky border, we have a moderate risk. So it's very large and a lot more north than what we saw with last week's moderate risk. So this actually includes a very large amount of people, around 8 million, including Memphis back at a moderate risk, now Nashville, Birmingham, Jackson, and Huntsville. So the only city that was not a moderate risk last week is Nashville. The enhanced risk now stretches all the way up into as well Kentucky, much of southern Missouri, eastern Arkansas, all the way down to Louisiana, and that's going to make its way as far north as Kentucky and as well far southern Illinois, just outside the Ohio River Basin. So that's going to include around 3.9, basically 4 million people. Clarksville, Tennessee, Jonesboro, Arkansas, Bowling Green, Kentucky, Greenville, Mississippi, and as well Cleveland, Tennessee. So a very large area of severe weather tomorrow. Tornado risk is very high, a 15% chance, significant risk for tornadoes. So very good chance for tornadoes, including much of north central Tennessee, much of north and central Mississippi, much of north central Alabama, and as well far northwestern Georgia. Again, includes Memphis, Nashville, Birmingham, Jackson, and Huntsville. So a little bit more toward the north. And then we have, of course, a 10% chance hatch risk as well, and that's obviously be including areas as well, just outside there of Montgomery there, into areas, of course, into eastern Arkansas, far southern Missouri. So we have a very widespread 10% chance as well. And then the 5% chance for tornadoes. So again, there is possibly a chance for tornadoes to be outside this hatch risk, but of course they're going to be a lot less common. But even if you're in the 5% chance, I will still keep a close eye on this. Wind threat, pretty high as well, 30% chance hatch risk, of course. And that is an enhanced risk for winds, and that's what we're going to be seeing here. Very large wind threat here, going to go across Georgia, across portions of eastern Dixie Valley, into portions of the Tennessee and Kentucky basin. And then the hail threat as well kind of be more towards the west here, kind of sticking around Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Missouri, and Tennessee, kind of sticking outside of Georgia and kind of staying out a little bit a lot more way to the west than where we have the moderate boundary. So you can kind of see, and there you see it just refreshed right now, but there you see, compared to the wind, the hail threat's going to be a lot more, kind of more toward the Mississippi River Basin there in that general region as well. And the 30% chance significant risk, of course, includes Memphis, Jackson, Tuscaloosa, Jackson, and Jonesboro, Arkansas. So pretty big day tomorrow. Checking a look here at the severe weather, mainly for this we're going to really be watching out for Alabama, Mississippi, and as well portions of Louisiana and Arkansas. So getting into 1 a.m. tomorrow morning here, we're going to start seeing some severe storms developing here. So it's not just going to be blowing up in the evening. They actually will start blowing up as early as tomorrow, early morning. Now getting to around 5 a.m. Eastern time, to be around 4 a.m. Central a.m. These storms are going to continue to fire off here, bringing in potential hail threats and as well some pretty large wind threats across portions of Alabama, all the way up to portions of Arkansas. And then getting to now the late morning, things will start to die off a little bit here, and it'll kind of make its way towards Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. But that's kind of the first wave there. Now we got those potential supercells developing here in the afternoon around 4 o'clock Eastern time. We start to see the supercells developing here with these linear storms as a result of these very large amounts of humidity, moisture, and as well high K values. These storms are going to continue to try to fire off as we go into the evening, and maybe kind of see that potential. We will start to see a linear storm kind of starting to develop across portions of Mississippi, but that'll kind of stay at least the worst, staying towards kind of Tennessee. But it will kind of become more of a QLCS later on into early, potentially late tomorrow evening into early Friday morning. Let's go ahead and look more towards the north here into Tennessee and Kentucky. So, of course, getting to around 6 a.m. tomorrow morning here for the Eastern time and I guess 5 a.m. Central. And you kind of see we had that first wave of severe weather, and as well, you're going to be seeing some big time flooding coming with this as well. It's just going to be mainly flooding. The main severe weather is not going to happen to really the evening hours here. Getting to the next 20 hours, you can kind of see pretty large linear line of storms here. Big time for areas like Clarksville, making their way toward Nashville, northern Mississippi, as well into southwestern Kentucky, and of course had to go through portions of Nashville. Again, going to be really big, I guess, hail threat and specifically wind threat for that general region. And then, of course, that'll kind of make its way towards the east into Georgia and the Carolinas. Let's go ahead and take a look now at the actual temperatures here and why the K values are going to be as high as they will be. So this is a look at, I believe, 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. So temperatures going to be pretty steady in the 60s as really early as 3 a.m. Seeing some 70s in southern Louisiana. But there you see as we now get later into the next, I believe this is getting to 2 o'clock here. Let's get now later into 4 o'clock Eastern time. Look at the 80s. We're going to see a very high 70s and even touching 79 there across Mississippi. Getting some 70s there across Tennessee. But look at the really warm temperatures we're going to be seeing toward the south. These almost 90s across Florida, mid to high 80s across Georgia. But we're seeing 73 in Atlanta, 74 in Nashville, 79 there outside of Yazoo City there, and even some mid 70s across eastern Arkansas. And of course, as you go through the evening hours, now the next 24 hours, temperatures are still going to be pretty, or let's go to the next 24 hours here. Next 24 hours, I mean, they're going to be pretty warm. Still seeing some 60s across this general region, but then getting later on into early tomorrow morning, early Friday morning. Of course, these temperatures will rapidly decrease here. But the Cape Valleys, they're going to really blow up as a result of these very warm temperatures. Of course, we're going to be seeing some 70s and even touching 80 degrees across some areas. So now getting to the next, I believe this is going to be a look now into tomorrow morning. Kind of see really nothing coming up, and then it just blows up here, getting into the evening hours. Gonna start hitting areas that can possibly already get over 3,000 joules per kilogram across areas of Alabama and portions of Mississippi. Pretty large range from 2,500 to 3,200. And that's going to continue to blow up across mainly Mississippi, Alabama, and Arkansas, and even portions of Tennessee is kind of where we will be seeing our highest Cape values. And of course, that kind of rapidly die off as we get into the evening hours. And let's go ahead and take a look now at the supercell composite parameter on this out of a scale from 0 to about 40, kind of looking at the chance of getting some supercells. So getting as early as tomorrow morning, I believe this is 8 a.m. I'm going to even see a 16 on the SCP scale for Louisiana and Mississippi. So like I did say, the severe weather can start as early as the morning hours, and that'll really rapidly blow up now as we get into the afternoon hours. Really going to start off really specifically by around 6 p.m. Eastern time. You can kind of see it really blows up, getting up to a 24.4 on the scale for the SCP or for supercell. So very, very good chance. So really watching out specifically this general region here, and then actually move my my screen. Let's actually make my screen a little smaller so you guys can actually really see. So you can kind of notice that we're gonna be seeing these areas such as Mississippi, Alabama, and Mississippi and Tennessee to see the highest supercell I guess chance or percentage. And even getting later into tomorrow evening here around the next, I believe this is around 25 hours, getting a 30 on the scale here. Sorry, this is not the next 24 hours. This is the next 28 hours. Getting a 30 on the scale. So a very, very good chance, almost guaranteed for supercells. That'll even get up to even some higher teens across Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. So you look at that. Areas like Nashville can get nearly maybe a 20 on the scale. areas like Huntsville, Florence, Alabama, Tupelo, Memphis, Clarksville, and as well even Birmingham. You guys are gonna really watch out for some significant supercells resulting to possibly strong tornadoes. So now we're gonna be looking at the significant tornado parameter here on the College of DuPage weather website. So getting into the next 21 hours or so, we're gonna see a very good number on the scale. I believe this is actually, let's go ahead and look. You can kind of see that's gonna be around a 7 or 8. So again, this is the SCP from anywhere from 0 to kind of beyond the 10. So as you see, we're getting kind of more towards a 7.6 and the SCP 7.7. So this is very, very high numbers. But as we now get later on the next 24 hours or so, we're not even going to get even higher numbers of 10.2. So very good chance for some significant tornadoes to potentially develop across the Dixie Valley region tomorrow. And that's going to continue to increase now, getting a 10.6 there. Oops, I did not mean to do that. But very good chance for tornado. Really, it's going to be very widespread across Mississippi there, down to Louisiana. But really watching out, specifically according to the this is looking at the NAM model, areas of northern Alabama and as well portions of central Mississippi. There you see northern Alabama 10.9, our highest reading. So look, 11 highest reading so far. They're very, very extremely high chance for tornadoes. And then even getting later into tomorrow, late evening, getting a 9, almost an 8. So really getting anywhere from 7 to 9 on this range, getting later into portions of the evening hours. And that's going to even go into Georgia, getting some really good readings there, a 7.2, 6.6. So overall, we have a very, very good chance for some tornadoes. So here's a look at the sounding here for, I believe this is the areas near Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where we have, I believe, a reading of 11 on the supercell. There you see, we have let's actually get my pink out. So there you see it's 26.2 on the supercell composite parameter, and the SCP scale of 8.7. Look at that, PDS tornado, potential hazard threat, getting a 100% chance for significant hail, and a 64% chance as well for some significant, just general significant tornadoes, and potential 3-inch size hail is likely. But as you see, we're looking at a very strong dive for PDS tornadoes. Very, very good reading here. Very little cap as well, with some very good cape there, getting around 2400. So very decent cape. No cap whatsoever, really, and a 26.2 in the supercell composite parameter according to this skew chart reading. And there you see a potential hazard of PDS tornado. Very similar scenario into as well Mississippi outside the Hattiesburg region there. You see basically no cap whatsoever, and the cape value is around 2700. Again, PDS tornado threat, very good chance for potential very strong, possibly EF3, EF4 tornadoes, 100% chance for severe hail, and as well very significant supercells with a 71% chance there for tornado. Supercell composite parameter reading of 24.6 on the STP scale, around an 8.1. So very, very not good readings whatsoever here. You don't want to see this at all. I mean, as you see, we're seeing some very nice amounts of humidity there. Look at that, we got 71 degrees. I mean, this is really basically perfect for some extreme severe weather. I mean, we are going to definitely be seeing some extremely large hail. Of course, PDS tornado is a big threat, and we may even see EF4 tornado likely. And who knows, we may even get possibly some more widespread long track EF4s tomorrow as well. Another skew T-chart here, looking at now areas just outside Nashville. Of course, now that's going to be getting into tomorrow evening. PS tornado, so really got to watch out if you're in the Nashville region. As you see, we have a bit of a lower threat for extremely large tornadoes such as EF4s, but we still have a 100% chance for significant tornadoes there. But as you see, it's a little bit lower on the percentage for these actual tornadoes there, such as EF4s, but still really watching out the chance for just significant tornadoes in general, EF2, EF3 in that general region outside Nashville, or at least the Nashville metro area. 66 degrees there at this point as well, looking at supercell composite parameter 21.0 with a significant tornado parameter rating at a 6.4. We're getting a little bit lower cape there at around 1600 there, and you see really minimal cap whatsoever. So we are sitting at a obviously less than 10 chart reading, but still definitely something you want to take seriously. So here's now a look at another reason why the severe weather outbreaks need to be very intense is because we're gonna be seeing unlimited shear just from the west there. It's gonna be really gearing up and kind of building up by today, and it's all gonna really just explode as we get into tomorrow. There you see just blows up across portions of Dixie Valley, including Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, and as well into Arkansas by tomorrow morning. And then again to tomorrow evening, of course, that shear is going to continue to blow up now to Georgia, northern Alabama, much of Arkansas, to Tennessee as well. So it's going to gradually get more favorable as we get into the evening and afternoon hours, afternoon across Dixie. So we are going to be seeing some significant severe weather tomorrow morning, but the worst of it, of course, will kind of start after 2 o'clock Eastern. And as we get late into tomorrow evening, there you see the most amount of shear will now make its way towards the north, now to Tennessee, northern Georgia, northern Alabama, northern Mississippi, eastern Arkansas. So kind of right in that area where we have a moderate risk. So the shear kind of really fits perfectly where we have the moderate risk there. Of course, this precipitation as well is going to start building up as we get throughout today. So you can kind of see right now we're seeing some dry spots across western Dixie Valley, but as it builds up throughout the day and tonight, we're going to be seeing a ton of moisture there, extreme amount of humidity, very warm temperatures, and you can kind of see this a ton of precipitation in general, so no problem with that at all. And the relative humidity going to get up to 100% across portions of southwestern Dixie Valley, and this is by tomorrow morning. And as we get into the afternoon hours, it's going to get a lot more favorable. Not going to get widespread 90s here. Not going to get anything below 90 whatsoever, where we have the actual severe weather threat, and kind of really watching where we have the moderate risk. Nothing below really 90% or 93% to be exact. So really high amount of humidity and very favorable for some big time severe weather. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to stream. I really hope that my game gets canceled, of course. Only if I lived a little bit more west, kind of western Georgia, then I definitely would. But again, I hope I can stream, of course. It would suck if I cannot, because obviously you guys are there for coverage, and I hope I can. But again, I won't find out till really noon or so. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, and stay safe out there, and see you guys later.